Hey, we did it, man. We did it. We finally got a good show after weeks of Extreme Rules build and the actual pathetic Extreme Rules event itself, and then the schmaz that Raw put on last night. Finally, after weeks, we finally get a good show, man. I'm not saying it was epic, but it sure as hell was a good show. For a 2-hour wrestling show with a half an hour plus of commercials, you put together a good fucking solid show. And who would have thought that the focal point of a good show finally in 2018, summer of 2018, and we finally get a good show after weeks of pathetic bullshit shows, who would have thought Randy Orton would be one of the main focal points attached to that statement? But that's the case. Randy fucking Orton ends up being the focal point of not just this SmackDown, but one of the hottest storylines right now in WWE. Which again, just a little over a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever the fuck it was, we were already seeing Orton and Jeff Hardy. So this is just rehashed. And Randy Orton was a thing of the past. So what the fuck happened that now, all of a sudden, just 2 months later, after we've already seen Hardy and Orton, why is this so electric right now? And why, after years of Randy Orton being non-existent, why is now Randy Orton one of the hottest fucking superstars, it seems, right now? After just one night. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to save that to the end of this video, because what I want to do is go over just the rest of SmackDown first, before I spend any more time on Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy. And I'll try to go through this fast, guys. I know we all want to kick ass on this Wednesday and go about our business. So, right off the bat, SmackDown started with Jeff Hardy in the ring. I didn't get the point of this. Jeff Hardy is not that comfortable on the microphone anyway, so is that the choice you really want to go with to start SmackDown to really hype everybody up? We all love Jeff Hardy, but on the microphone, that's not his strong suit. But that's what they did. They had him go out. There was no angle, no story to be told. They just said, hey, go out and say you're going to do this to Shinsuke Nakamura and say have a good night or enjoy the show. And that's what Hardy did. So Hardy delivers this little promo promo, I guess you could say, man. He goes out there on the mic for a good 4 to 5 minutes. And it wasn't bad, but it was definitely cringeworthy if you know Jeff Hardy on the microphone. And you could tell he was a little uncomfortable. And then he just screams at the end of his... He says what he's going to do to Shinsuke later that night. He's going to have his rematch for the United States Championship. And then he's like, enjoy the show! And then he did it all as like one run-on sentence. And I think Tom Phillips said it best right after Jeff Hardy ended that promo. Tom Phillips goes, delivered like only Jeff Hardy can deliver it. So, I don't know. I got a kick out of that, man. It was cringeworthy, but you couldn't help but laugh. It was a good, laughable way to start off SmackDown. And then you went right into an actual wrestling match that we gave a fuck about. Fresh. It felt original. It was organic. It was intriguing. It was Andrade and Almas versus AJ Styles. You have this heavyweight champion. You have one of the best wrestlers in the world, AJ Styles, taking on somebody who could easily be in that conversation in a year or two. And that's Andrade and Almas. This fucking rookie as it pertains to the main roster. I know he's not. He's been in NXT. He was in wrestling before NXT. But when it comes to the main roster, he's a fucking rookie to the main roster. He's a newbie. And to see Almas and AJ Styles, I felt it was way too soon, obviously. But it was so refreshing to see those two. On Monday Night Raw and on SmackDown, every show can be repetitive, guys. It seems like we're seeing the same competitors in the same match every week. Once in a while, they'll change it up a little bit, right? A 3-on-2 or a fucking or a different 3-on-3, but it's still 3-on-3 and it's basically the same participants. Or it's 1-on-1 for 2 weeks in a row and then they get a tag team partner, and then it's the same people in the same match every week, every show. So to see Almas and AJ Styles, man, something about just seeing them before they even started competing, just seeing them in the ring. That was just good to see, dude. It was like, wow, we're finally getting a little better with our match selection. Again, I felt it was too soon, but I liked it. Obviously, you can't have a decisive winner here. You can't have a pinfall or a submission, right? AJ Styles is your champion. He's coming off a big win against Rusev Sunday. You can't have Almas beat AJ Styles. On the other hand, you cannot, no matter what you do, you cannot have Almas take a pin by AJ Styles. Almas cannot lose this match. He definitely can't submit, right? Almas' first big match. I think he's had a match maybe or two on SmackDown. This is his first big match, man. And it's only like tops his third match in all on the main roster for TV. So his second or third match on TV, you cannot at all have him tap out. But you can't even have him pinned. So this match ends up kicking ass, obviously. Almas shows you what he can do, which is an abundance of fucking skills that he possesses. AJ Styles is AJ fucking Styles. Nobody really is in his league. Maybe Daniel Bryan, maybe Johnny Wrestling. Obviously some Japan superstars as well, but there's not many that are hanging with AJ Styles in this world. That's why we call him one of the best in the world. At the end of this match, I was fucking blown away. Calf crusher, and in 2 seconds, if even, Andrade Cien Almas is tapping the fuck out. In 2 seconds. Didn't even put up a fight. They made Almas look like a mega bitch last night. They tried to sell it afterwards. Almas showed you what he can do. He has a cute little stare down with AJ Styles. I like that story. And almost walks up the ramp. And you have, and Zelina Vega too is playing it off really good, like just they're disappointed as fuck. But this isn't gonna get you out of a tap out in 2 seconds. The guy didn't even put up a fight. The calf crusher was applied, and in 2 seconds, the motherfucker's tapping. And even if he put up a fight, if he put up a 2-minute fight with the calf crusher, you still can't have Almas tapping out. What? This is only his second or third match that he's had on TV on the main roster. The casual fan definitely is still trying to learn who he is. And you could say, oh, but it's AJ Styles. Dude, this guy is an NXT champion, former NXT champion. He can hang with Styles. We already know that. What we need to find out, and the casual fan needs to find out, is can he hang when the going gets tough? When the going got tough last night, he tapped like a bitch. You can't build Almas like that, man. And again, they tried to save face. After the match, they tried to play it off like, oh, he hung with him, and he's questioning what he has to do for next time, and down the road, Almas will be ready. Well, that's fine and dandy, and you better tell that fucking story after you just made him tap out. So you're damn right you better tell that story. But the fact remains, you already done fucked up. What are you having this guy tap out in 2 seconds for? And not even on his 20th or 30th match. No, his second or third tops. Boggles my fucking mind. That's the one thing that actually pissed me off last night, because I didn't understand why they would do it. It's almost like Vince wants to teach Almas a lesson. This isn't NXT. You're in WWE now. You're my bitch now. You're going to lose right off the gate, and you're going to lose in embarrassing fashion, and you're going to know who's the boss. Now, maybe I'll give you a push in the future, but right off the gate, you're going to know who's boss. He did it with Eric fucking Young and Sanity, man. Now they're on a little win streak. But at first, he wants to crush you with a fucking loss. Asuka building up this undefeated streak on the main roster like she did in NXT. And boom, her first WrestleMania, a few months after this streak is really taking shape on the main roster, and Vince takes it right away from her. Ember Moon, non-fucking existent, taking an L to Sarah fucking Logan on Monday Night Raw. Ember Moon. I don't know if there's some back and forth between Vince and Triple H, and Vince wants Triple H to know, hey, I'll bring up your kids, but I'm gonna show them who's boss up front. And they're not gonna be these big superstars off the gate in my company, if at all. Maybe that's Vince's message to Triple H, but I just gave you guys a bunch of examples how these NXT call-ups, these hotshot superstars, are being misused. That's not nitpicking, guys. I'm dropping facts on you guys, man. If you're gonna build superstars and give these guys a chance, well then do that. There's no need to fuck with them right when they get called up just to show who's in charge. 2 seconds on a calf crusher, I'm not buying that shit. Almas is tougher than that. Sure, he had a good match with AJ, but we already knew that. We already knew what he was capable of. You're telling me he's gonna tap in 2 seconds? I say fuck that and fuck you for thinking that. Other than that, man, other than the actual outcome, the match, refreshing. It was good to see, and that just kicked off SmackDown. Becky Lynch continues momentum. She took out Mandy Rose. Now, obviously, you see Becky Lynch versus Mandy Rose. It's an automatic conclusion that Becky Lynch is going to beat Mandy Rose, and that is what happened, and it happened on the Disarmer, right? Not much to talk about, really. Mandy Rose just got beat. Mandy Rose looked sloppy in the ring. Becky Lynch is a tough competitor. Forget just a female competitor that's tough. She's a tough pro wrestler. She's gonna go in, if you're like the man, right? And on this channel, I like to do it too, because I know there's Mandy Rose fans out there. I like to be considerate to your feelings. You like Mandy Rose, that's cool. If you like people like, Eva Marie. Remember Eva Marie? If you like her, that's cool. You know, there's certain superstars, Lana, that's cool. But there's certain superstars, and Lana at least is getting tougher. But like the Eva Maries, the Mandy Roses, you could tell, those are fucking models, man. And their real main goal probably most likely is to just get that superstar success. You could tell they love doing the photo shoots and all that, and that's awesome. But you can also look on their face when they're about to take a brutal hit from people like Becky, and you can tell they're like, oh fuck. Like, my big superstardom better come soon outside of pro wrestling, because I'm getting my ass kicked. There was one, I forgot what it was. It was like some back suplex or something that Becky Lynch did last night. I forgot the exact move, I apologize. Maybe it was a fisherman going into a suplex. Some shit, man. But Becky Lynch had Mandy, and there was a moment where Mandy Rose has this look on her face like, fuck. Like, I'm going for a ride. And this was real life. This wasn't like trying to tell a story. And Becky does not hold back. Becky just slingshots this motherfucker. Mandy goes ass over tea kettle. Boom! Lands flat on her back. Bounces off the fucking canvas. And Becky's having a time of her life. And Mandy is like, just fucking in awe. You know, like shock and awe, man. Like, fuck, I'm getting fucked up. Welcome to pro wrestling, but welcome to competitors like Becky fucking Lynch. She's a hardcore female. She's not just gonna do her nails and stroll into her next photo shoot. No. She's there to kick ass. She's there to become fucking champion. I like that about Becky Lynch, man. And Becky Lynch wins on the Disarmer last night against Mandy Rose. No hate against Mandy Rose. I felt like she was getting better. Last night, she took like a step back. I felt a little sloppy. And I'm just not fully believing she fully wants to be there yet, man. I know she works hard. She's been working harder. Man, I don't know. She needs to believe in herself more. If she truly wants to be in WWE, in pro wrestling, if she truly wants to be a pro wrestler more than anything else, more than a model, more than some catalog queen, more than a hotshot TV host or personality or actor or actress, if she truly wants that, she needs to believe in herself more, because you can tell it ain't there. She needs that confidence in her, instilled in her. And then she needs, when she gets all that going and she learns her craft more and gets that skill set and she becomes more comfortable within those skill sets and within herself, then she needs to go full throttle. Then, and only then, will I believe in Mandy Rose as a pro wrestler. Until then, she's got a lot of work to do within herself and outside of herself. Hopefully that happens. Becky Lynch picks up a big W. Big W. It is a big W because she has all of this momentum. And I told you guys when she tapped out Charlotte Flair. You guys remember when Charlotte Flair tapped out to Becky Lynch. And I said in that video, that SmackDown video after, I said, this is her time. We were going into, I believe, Money in the Bank. But I said it's obvious she's probably not going to win Money in the Bank. She just needs to have a good showing. And after Money in the Bank, they need to continue her winning. You cannot have Charlotte Flair tap out to you and then you go into 50-50 booking again. And you're losing 1 week, you're winning 2 weeks. You're losing 3 weeks, you win a week. No, you have to have momentum. And they gave her that. That's awesome to see that they're giving Becky Lynch momentum. So that's why it's a big W. They're keeping that up. She beats Mandy Rose. Paige backstage tells Carmella that next week you're going to have a match with Becky Lynch. And if Becky Lynch wins that match, Becky Lynch will go over to SummerSlam to challenge for your championship, Carmella. Now, I'm loving the momentum Becky Lynch is getting. Does that mean I want to see Becky Lynch, Carmella at SummerSlam? The answer, and I'm going to be truthful, no, it doesn't. First of all, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because who I think is the best female wrestler in WWE right now is Sasha Banks, and she's over there confessing her love to Bayley, and we don't even know what that storyline's going to be. The most it's going to be is a mid-card match at SummerSlam, right? In the mid-card, nothing on the line, maybe at the most a loser leaves Raw match. Bayley, Sasha, nothing really on the line. And then over on SmackDown, you see fucking Becky Lynch going for a championship. And you see the 4 horsewomen of WWE, of Bayley, Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha, and then you see Becky going for this over there, and you see Sasha non-existent for a year and a half. So there's a bittersweet, you know what I mean? Like, you're happy for Becky, but you also are like, what the fuck? Why can I not do that with Sasha? You know what I mean? It's just, it fucking boggles my mind, pisses me off a little bit as well. But that's the first thing where I'm kind of like, Becky Lynch, Carmella. But on top of that, I literally don't think I want to see Becky Lynch and Carmella. I don't think it sells itself to me for the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, SummerSlam. So, here's the thing. It looks like that's the way they're going, Becky and Carmella. So, they're going to have to sell me. And if you're not sold on it, they're going to have to sell you on it. And how do you do that? You make the storyline intriguing. If you have Becky and Carmella go out there and have a match next week, then what you're doing is you're already giving away your SummerSlam match. So now we really don't need to see it again. So they pigeoned themselves into a hole, and they got themselves into a pickle. Because now they're stuck. They're going to give away their SummerSlam match. And Becky will win, and then it becomes Becky and Carmella Part 2. Okay, but do we even need to see Part 1? So what I'm saying here is if they're going to go that route, which it looks like they're going to go, and they're going to go down that road, make us give a shit. This has to be an interesting and intriguing storyline between these two. There needs to be some brutality and beatings. There needs to be some innovation in the storytelling so that when we get to, what is it? Is it the 19th of August? Something like that. Whatever the fuck it is. SummerSlam. When it comes SummerSlam time, we have to go full throttle and want to see Becky and Carmella. That has to be a match that we are into. You have enough time to do it, but you have to do it. Because up front, Becky Lynch versus Carmella, just saying that match and showing the visual of it doesn't get me interested in it. So they're going to have to do a lot of work from here on out. And again, they put themselves in a pickle. They're giving away that match next week. just to get Becky the opportunity at the title. So if you're giving away the match, now you really got to make us give a fuck to watch that match again at SummerSlam. Hope this is making sense. Hope you're keeping track. That's it on Becky Lynch. That went a little bit too long, but it's a more complicated situation because it looks like we're getting Becky Carmella. That's cool. They keep up the momentum, but wow. At SummerSlam, they're going to have to really sell me on that. Samoa Joe, he took out Ty Dillinger. Coquina clutch, obviously. But I think there's nothing really to talk about there. Ty Dillinger just continues his losing streak. He's the Kurt Hawkins of SmackDown. And Samoa Joe, I still don't think they have anything for him. I think they're going to... Next week, Paige is going to call out the challenger for AJ Styles' championship for SummerSlam. I would think it's Samoa Joe, right? He's the only, not just viable competitor, but he's the only one that makes sense. But if that's the case, I would have had that start last night. I don't need Paige announcing Samoa Joe. I want somebody to come out, cause a feud with AJ Styles, and it's so intriguing that we're like, we want to see this. And then Paige says, you know what? Not only do people want to see it, he's deserving of it. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. Instead, it looks like Paige is just going to announce Samoa Joe, and then we go from there. But I feel like we wasted a week of something that could have captivated us. But Samoa Joe picks up a nonsensical victory, I guess, just to show people that Samoa Joe is still on the roster. And I think next week, hopefully, Samoa Joe starts to get the limelight and the spotlight that he deserves. But the real funny part of this was before that match. Ty Dillinger is backstage and R-Truth comes up to him. And Ty Dillinger is like, save your motivational speech, R-Truth. It didn't work last week. I'll be fine tonight. And R-Truth keeps on talking to what we think is Ty Dillinger. And Dillinger's like, no, Truth, save it. He's like, fine. I know. I'm going to go out. I'm going to beat Samoa Joe, blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Truth, for the talk. Ty Dillinger walks off and R-Truth turns around. He's got his fucking Bluetooth or earpiece in his fucking ear. And he's like, all right, Ma, I'll talk to you later. He's like, Ty, where you going? That was hilarious, man. R-Truth is fucking hilarious. He's talking to his mother the whole time. And he's looking right at Dillinger. Dillinger thinks Truth is talking to him. I love Dillinger and Truth's chemistry. I think it's funny as fuck. It's the right type of comedy. I don't know what it says about them winning wrestling matches, unfortunately. But at least they're funny as fuck. I mean, it shows you they have charisma, and that's a huge part of building a superstar. What that says for the future, I don't know. But R-Truth is a fucking legend, man. R-Truth is a gold mine. I love Truth. Where are you going to go? Miz eulogy? Let's do that, man. That kicked off the second hour. The Miz went out to give a eulogy, and they spent time. This is why I call this a good show. We saw a good wrestling match with AJ Styles and Andrade and Almas. And then we go into, and someone like Becky keeps up her momentum, and then you have them spend the time on this Miz eulogy. Everybody's in black. They dim out the lights. You have these cool visual effects like a real eulogy on the LED boards. You got these giant posters of Team Hell No in the ring. They do this Kane sculpture of his head like it's a real eulogy with Kane's head on this fucking podium. They spent extra time for the segment. That's a good thing. I like when they spend time. That means they give a shit. Another reason, small things like that is what helps make a good show. And they have the Miz eulogy, and the Miz is just the Miz on the mic. He's epic. All of this shit just spews out of the Miz's head, man. If you were to put this on paper, this is like a 5-page monologue promo that he has to deliver. It's all just spitting off his head. And he's so good at it, man. He's such a great antagonist, but he's also funny while being an antagonist. That's really hard to do, actually. Miz is just epic. He really is. He's one of my favorite superstars now, and I kind of am a little pissed that years ago, he wasn't one of my favorite superstars. You know, I kind of passed him off. It was like John Cena. Toward the end of John Cena's, like, full-time career, I started actually appreciating John Cena more. And it's a shame because, you know, he's gone now, and you kind of like... On one hand, we're happy he is, right? We get to try to create new superstars, even though WWE still isn't really doing that. But on the other hand, you started to appreciate Cena a little bit more because, I mean, he was involved in some big fucking matches, and he was a big part of those matches being successful. Same thing with The Miz. I started to appreciate him. I just hope it's not too late, but better late than never. But Miz came out, gave just an awesome dialogue on how Team Hell No was doomed from the beginning, and he called it. Kane was just a broken down machine, and Daniel Bryan is a shell of what he once was, and Miz was laying into Daniel Bryan. I love this. Laying into Daniel Bryan. This is like some talking smack type shit, but without Daniel Bryan face to face. To the point where Daniel Bryan ended up coming down. His music hit. You thought he was going to come down the rampway. No, Daniel Bryan attacks Miz from behind, and he got a piece of him. Daniel Bryan finally, after all these months, finally got a piece. Years even, right? That talking smack was over a year ago, 2 years ago at least, no? And he finally got his hands on Daniel Bryan. It was just a piece. He nailed him from behind. Miz was able to escape. The pallbearers that Miz had. He had like 3 pallbearers. There are probably some independent wrestlers from around the area. They ended up getting the beating from Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan suplexing, fucking beating the fuck out of all the pallbearers. And I think one of them even got the yes kicks. And Miz is retreating up the rampway. And he's got this look like, all right, motherfucker. But the Miz also has this look like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm onto you. I can see through your bullshit. You're a shell of what... Miz had that face like, I believe in what I'm saying, and I'm going to expose you. And Daniel Bryan on his face, his expression was, I'm gonna get you, Miz, and I'm gonna fucking make you pay for all your fucking words that you spew. I'm gonna fuck you up. I love this chemistry that they have because it's real life heat. I'm not saying backstage they're always fucking with each other, but it's real life. In real life, they're 2 different people. Daniel Bryan has said that in real interviews. He said, me and Miz are just 2 different people. I remember one interview, he said, look how I'm dressed, because it was the same, the interviewer was interviewing Daniel Bryan first, and then later that day or the next day, that interviewer was going to have Miz. And Daniel Bryan, non-kayfabe, straight up said, look how I'm dressed, which was like a t-shirt and jeans, and he goes, watch how the Miz comes to your interview tomorrow. It's going to be a totally different person. And Daniel Bryan was like, it's nothing against that. It's just we're different people. We have nothing in common. And sure enough, the Miz showed up to that interview, 5-piece suit, fucking dressed to the nines, man. And I think the interviewer said that to the Miz. And the Miz was like, what's wrong with wanting to look great, with wanting to look like you're the best, look like you belong? And not looking like a fucking, basically he was saying not looking like a fucking farm animal, you know, or like you live on a ranch. They are 2 different people. And that talking smack was real. That was not fucking a kayfabe incident or a storyline. Daniel Bryan literally got pissed off at The Miz. The Miz got under Daniel Bryan's skin, and The Miz cut loose. The Miz did not like Daniel Bryan calling him a coward champion and saying how he always just fucking runs and he's a paper champ and he's not a fighting champion. Miz took exception to that, and Miz, being The Miz and knowing how to talk, delivered a 2-minute fucking ass-kicking promo, and Daniel Bryan literally got pissed to the point where he left talking smack and he left Renee Young. That was real. And then they split up on the roster. Daniel Bryan obviously couldn't wrestle anyway. He was the GM or whatever the fuck. And then he gets cleared, and we wondered, are we going to see Miz and Daniel Bryan? Miz gets traded over to SmackDown, and they kept them away from each other. I loved it. And they put together this Hell No thing, and Team Hell No, and then all of a sudden The Miz, a week before Extreme Rules, he has them on his show, Miz TV. And you start to see that feud rekindled. And now I start thinking, SummerSlam, let's fucking do this. Now's the time. Don't prolong this. And that's the fucking debate, right? So many people, I don't know what the internet, some people on the internet are like, WrestleMania they should have waited till WrestleMania. First of all, I don't want to see Miz and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan deserves to be going for a championship at WrestleMania, the heavyweight champion or something. Something different, something better than that. I mean, Miz and Daniel Bryan can be the hottest storyline going into SummerSlam, but by WrestleMania, this feud should not be fucking going that long. So first of all, I wouldn't want to see Daniel Bryan and The Miz at WrestleMania. No offense to The Miz, because I want to see The Miz in a big match at WrestleMania. But I want to see Daniel Bryan going for something so much bigger and more epic. Something huge on the line or something. The Miz and Daniel Bryan thing should be squashed by WrestleMania 30-5. That's A. I don't want to see Miz and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. SummerSlam, that's the perfect location and event. Number 2, what the fuck makes you think they can actually go that long with a good storyline and keep us suspended and suspend reality and believe that this shit is going to go that long before they finally have a match? No. In reality, they want to get their hands on each other, so let's bring reality into the WWE world. Then we don't even have to suspend reality. We just let them go at it. What makes you think WWE can keep up a storyline that fucking long? Ain't gonna happen. Daniel Bryan actually said that in, maybe it was that interview or an interview around that time. But I think it was that same interview that I was talking about. Daniel Bryan actually said that. He was asked, would you like to fight The Miz at WrestleMania? And Daniel Bryan's like, do you honestly trust WWE to keep a story that long? He's right. So for anybody out there going, WrestleMania should have been the time, it never would have worked. WWE's not capable of doing that. And B, you really want to see The Miz and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania? That's your match for Daniel Bryan? Fucking A, man. I don't know what's so special about Daniel Bryan and The Miz. Right now, it's one of the hottest feuds. Yes, for the summer of 2018. Not for the fucking spring of 2019. What the fuck? Let's have them go in. You got 4 fucking weeks. You have months of a build. You have an awesome story to be told right now. You have so much good history, and you have 4 weeks to make this one of your big epic matches at SummerSlam. And it kicked off the right way last night to go full throttle high gear. I love this. Keep this going the next 3 Smackdowns and have a steamrolling into SummerSlam. I fucking love this. If done correctly, you can even leak out to the next pay-per-view too. This could captivate the summer of 2018. You don't need to prolong this to spring 2019. You people are losing your fucking minds. Fucking A, that's the feud you want to last till WrestleMania. Why does that have to be at WrestleMania? What the fuck is so special about Miz and Dan Bryan at WrestleMania? Stop it. You're being stupid. Fucking A. Saw 10 people at least online. WrestleMania should have been it. No, right now. I want to see Miz and Daniel Bryan right now while it's hot. While it is hot. Oh. Kofi Kingston gets defeated by Eric Young in a one-on-one match. Some extracurricular activity with New Day. Some extracurricular activity with Sanity. Mixture of the 6 participants, but it was really a one-on-one match. Kofi and Eric Young. Eric Young picks up the win. Just like I said about Becky Lynch finally getting some momentum. Same thing with Sanity. Even though this was one-on-one, man, Sanity gets some momentum. When they first got on the roster, it seemed like they were losing every week. They fucking had kickoff shows, they're losing. What the fuck? Sanity could be something if you give them a chance. Or at least let's find out. Give them a chance. If they fall flat on their face, they fell. Then you can have them lose some matches. Not right off the gates, man. I don't know why he wants to fuck with NXT talent so fucking much, man. Off the gate. And then he gives them some fucking steam. It's like, just give them steam from the beginning. Good to see Eric Young pick up that victory, man. Kofi Kingston winning a one-on-one match against somebody like Eric Young who needs this more than anything would be so stupid. Kofi doesn't need that. Eric Young picks up the W. That's huge. Sanity gets to celebrate a little. And then we went on to the main event. Shinsuke Nakamura took on Jeff Hardy. This is for Shinsuke's United States Championship, the rematch. Decent match, I guess, man. There was times in here where Shinsuke looked a little uncomfortable with Jeff Hardy in there. He didn't read Jeff Hardy. Shinsuke's put on some epic matches with some of the best in the world. And against Jeff Hardy, you would think their match would be fucking really good. It just wasn't. Shinsuke was really sloppy in there. I don't think he was reading Jeff Hardy too good. That twist of fate, if you guys go back and watch, that twist of fate looked like a stone cold stunner. It didn't look like Shinsuke knew exactly how to take that. The Swanton bomb looked even worse. Shinsuke, rolled on his side like he didn't want to take it. It didn't look like he felt comfortable taking the Swanton. That could have injured Jeff Hardy. Not happy with Shinsuke's performance. You guys know I'm high on Shinsuke. I'm a big Shinsuke fan. I will admit to you guys, as I always do, I always drop the truth here. I step back, I see this shit, and I tell you guys the truth. I was not happy with Shinsuke's performance last night. I'm just happy that he didn't injure Jeff Hardy. But Shinsuke was off his game last night, or he just didn't look like he felt comfortable with Jeff Hardy, so I do not want to see a rematch between those two. Luckily, it doesn't look like we're going to go that route, because Randy Orton interfered in this match at the end when, after the Swanton Bomb, Jeff Hardy looked like he was about to pick up his championship, reclaim that shit, and Orton, out of nowhere, but it wasn't an RKO, slides Jeff Hardy out of the ring, and he begins a beatdown for the ages, man. These are these beatdowns I love seeing when you go off the air, because it's called a cliffhanger. There's the fucking lost art of exiting a TV show, right? Fade to black with a cliffhanger, so we actually give a shit about tuning in next week. And not only are we going to, we actually want to. We're intrigued about what's going to happen next. It's called a cliffhanger of a story. Fucking, it's brilliant if they can fucking do that more often. We got it last night, man. Randy Orton. And this is like the legend killer Randy Orton. I see online, the fucking heel Orton is better than face Orton, blah, blah, blah. You can label them all you want, but this is the Randy Orton that is savage. It brings me back to that legend killer Randy Orton, where he literally thought he was better than everyone, and he was so arrogant and conceited and so young and so punkish. Straight out, a punk, but in a good way, man. Like, he went out there and he backed up what he thought and what he felt, and he had no respect for the legends, and he beat the fuck out of them. Some of those were vicious. Those beatdowns on throwing Mick Foley down a staircase, shit like that, man. That's where Randy Orton is at his best. So it doesn't matter if he's a face or a heel. I see a lot of labeling going on. It doesn't fucking matter. Randy Orton just needs to be savage. Even if he's a face. If he's a savage Orton and he's going to somebody's fucking house and destroying them, or waiting in the parking lot for somebody to show up, or searching for somebody backstage to fucking beat the shit out of him, that's Randy Orton. He's methodical like that. A cerebral assassin in every sense of the way, more so than Triple H in his mannerisms. A viper to the 10th degree. That's Orton. It's not a fact of, when he was a face, he was just worse. No, they just stopped giving him the time of day and the storylines, and Orton just kind of fell by the wayside. It looked like Orton himself kind of just gave up on shit. Creative had nothing for him. And we lost that savage Randy Orton. We got it back, man. Extreme Rules, that meant nothing to me. In fact, if you watch my Extreme Rules review and reaction show video, I didn't even mention Randy Orton. Totally even forgot about him. Totally forgot about him. I was more shocked by the 6-second victory by Shinsuke over Jeff Hardy. Totally forgot that Randy Orton even interfered. And then somebody I believe on my last video left a comment, "Oh, BC, Jeff Hardy was really injured. That's why it was 6 seconds." Really? Because it looked like he was fine last night. I know he's got nagging injuries, but that wasn't enough to make a 6-second match, and then 2 nights later you're going to go 10 to 15 minutes? Check you later. No way. He wasn't really injured. A nagging injury. Maybe he needs a fucking surgery after this. Maybe that's why Randy Orton fucking helped take him out. Who knows? But it wasn't enough to make him not wrestle Sunday night. He could have easily wrestled a 10 to 15 minute match. We just saw that last night. But anyway, so this new Randy Orton, you can call him heel Randy Orton. You can call him fucking insane Randy Orton. You can call him Viper Randy Orton. It doesn't fucking matter. This is savage Randy Orton. And this is the one who's just going to destroy everyone in his path. And he's going to do it viciously. And Jeff Hardy, it works. You get more emotion out of this because Jeff Hardy is actually a generally good dude. In real life, he's a guy. I know he's got trouble with the law, but there were always his self-demons. He's not trying to hurt anyone. He's a good dude. And for Randy Orton to viciously attack Jeff Hardy like he did last night, that was brutal. He took his head and he started pounding it against the steel steps. And I can only imagine what Jeff Hardy felt, because that's how I feel when I watch Monday Night Raw and how they're booking Sasha Banks. I feel like that's my head just bashing against. It's vicious, man. At one point, fucking Randy Orton gets Jeff Hardy up on the broadcast table, legs up on the table, and he DDTs him from the broadcast table, and that was fucking vicious. And then he's beating the fuck out of him, and he takes his earring, I believe he popped his earrings out or some shit, but he grabbed his earlobe, and you know Jeff Hardy has those fucking earlobes, it's a huge hole, because he's got those big lobed earrings, whatever the fuck you call them. And Orton puts his fingers in it, and he starts stretching his ear like he's ripping his ear off, man. There was one cut that Kevin Dunn did of a fan in attendance, and she was just cringing, man. She couldn't even watch. That was me for like a second. I was like, whoa, dude, all right, I don't need to see that. Like, that's a dude's ear. Let's keep that attached to Jeff. I mean, I know he's got the holes, but I'm sure he wants to keep that shit attached. Maybe, I don't know. But Randy Orton's ripping his fucking ear. I mean, this was some savage, brutal, innovative shit. We don't really see that. I can't remember the last time I saw something like that. And Orton is yelling, "Where's Shinsuke?" I don't know if he wanted Shinsuke out there in real life, like he broke kayfabe a little, and he's like, "Where's Shinsuke? I wanted to have a moment with him." Because there was a while where Shinsuke was out there. A ref must have told Shinsuke to get to the back. Vince wants him in the back, not out there. But I think Randy wanted to have a moment with Shinsuke, and Shinsuke was gone. So I think he broke kayfabe. He's yelling, "Where's Shinsuke?" And all these referees in suits and ties are trying to break him up. He throws all of them away. He starts attacking Hardy some more. We fade to black. SmackDown goes off the air in that chaos. That is the right type of chaos. That is how you fade to black on a good show. That is how you leave a cliffhanger, and that's how you leave somebody like the Amplified Man who's watched this product for over 30 fucking years. That's how you keep me intrigued, and now I have to find out what happens next week. Because while Orton was beating the fuck out of Jeff Hardy, he kept on yelling into that same ear he's pulling. Orton kept yelling into Jeff Hardy's ear, "You want to know why I'm doing this? Do you want to know why I'm doing this? You're going to have to wait to find out." I thought that was epic. That's called a cliffhanger. I loved it. We faded to black. We went off the air. We had a good show. From the Miz's eulogy and Daniel Bryan finally getting a piece, just a piece, as Randy Savage would say, a piece of the Miz. And you see that start to take shape and form again. You see Almas and AJ Styles and what they can do in that ring together, and it finally comes to fruition. Didn't like the outcome, but the match, innovative for SmackDown. Good to see a fresh match like that. And then you have Randy Orton just having one of those epic end-of-the-show beatdowns with some originality and creativity mixed in it. Cringeworthy even, but in a good way, right? Like, fuck, haven't seen that before. Don't know if I want to see that again. That was crazy. All in all, not epic, but a good show. We're going to take that after weeks of just, wow, man, just under par performing events. Monday Night Raw and SmackDown leading up to Extreme Rules, and then Extreme Rules being the epic bomb that it was. Not in a good way. A fucking dud, I should call it. Finally, we get a good show, man, and that's a good sign. As we head into SummerSlam in just 3 or 4 weeks, it's good to see that they're capable of putting on good shows. I'm hoping Raw's looking fucking decent. I mean, you have Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns, whether you want to see it or not. It's built up at least. They started the build up last week, and they got some bad blood from Extreme Rules. So we're going to see Lashley and Roman Reigns. We're finally going to get the number one contender for Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship. I think it's going to be both. It's going to be a triple threat. Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. And then either way, I think Braun Strowman is going to be the one walking out of SummerSlam with the championship after he cashes in his money in the lunchbox. And then something else for the women too, right? Something for the fucking, what was happening for the Ronda Rousey? No, Ronda Rousey's that. Something else was happening next week on Raw. So either way, Raw, I'm hoping, keeps this momentum that SmackDown just handed it to them. Hopefully Raw keeps that up, and I'm hoping SmackDown definitely keeps up their own momentum. SummerSlam season is in full effect, man. We have to start putting together epic shows. Not just good, but this was a start last night. Amplified Man is a happy dude. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Amplified Q&A, my favorite video of the week. If you got any questions for the Amplified Man, jot them over down below or over on Twitter at BC Amplified. I'm shutting the fuck up. Ass whoopings. Coffee first, then the ass whoopings over here in New York City. For now, guys, have a great Wednesday. I'll check you tomorrow for Amplified Q&A, and we'll check you later.